The Palestinian death toll from the ongoing Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip rose to 41,638. The Gaza-based health authorities have said in a statement that another 96,460 people were injured by Israeli attacks. At least 60 Palestinians have been killed overnight in an Israeli strike on Khan Younis. The attack took place as Israeli occupation tanks advanced in the south of the Gaza Strip, carrying out extensive raids in several areas, including a school sheltering displaced families. Israeli airstrikes in the Gaza Strip have resulted in the deaths of at least 19 individuals, including 5 women and 3 children, according to Palestinian medical officials. Despite a shift in focus to Lebanon and an escalating military campaign against Hezbollah, Israel has maintained its strikes on what it claims are militant targets throughout Gaza. Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital has received the bodies of 11 victims following an airstrike in the densely populated Nusayrat refugee camp, where survivors struggled to identify the remains.
In this election, we each face a question.
It's the fourth quarter. So tonight, right here is up and through the roof.
I know the president.
And even the bipartisan board.
Had a little not one. We're done. Let's
We now move to the United States, where the Democratic and Republican vice presidential nominees clashed over the Middle East in their first ever debate. The escalating Middle East conflict was the debate's first topic, giving the Democratic vice presidential nominee, Tim Walz, while his Republican counterpart, J.D. Vance, a chance to outline their foreign policy credentials. This debate is likely the final one of the 2024 presidential campaign, potentially giving it some additional weight ahead of the November 5th election.
Instead is drive the cost of food higher by 25%.
Now, this is a philosophical difference between us. Donald Trump made a promise, and I'll give you this. He kept it.
Former United States President Donald Trump has held a campaign rally in Wisconsin, promising peace in the world if he wins the election. Trump said that the world will go up in smoke again if his Democratic opponent, Harris, wins the presidential election on the November 5th. He didn't make any policy announcement, opting instead to highlight previous plans.
I believe it's the most important election. I used to say that in
In the economic news, S&P Global has downgraded Israel's long-term ratings from A+ to A, citing risks to the country's public finances. The increased risk was attributed to the escalating conflict in Lebanon. The rating agency highlighted concerns over potential security threats, including retaliatory rocket attacks against Israel, which could harm the country's economy. Elsewhere, Libya is preparing to restore oil production that has been shut since late August. People familiar with the matter said that Libya's oil sector is expected to receive orders to resume output in the coming days. National production and export operations were stopped in August when the parallel government in eastern Libya declared the closure of oil facilities. These are all the news we have for now, but here's a recap of today's main stories. Clashes erupt between Israeli occupation forces and Hezbollah.